So now that we have the right information displaying here, we just need to change the cosmetics in order to line up the tag with the number and add parentheses around the number. So you could probably figure that all out by now, and that might be a good challenge if you want to pause here. We could use a rewriting in order to pull these two fields together, but let's use a different method here that's a little bit more in line with what we're talking about. In fact, it is inline, actually. So what we're going to do is set each of these fields to be inline instead of being wrapped in their own block elements. So now it seems like if we were going to set a field to be inline, we would go straight to the field settings, but actually what we need to do is go to settings next to fields here. And here we have a list of all of the fields that we currently have enabled for this view, and this is the inline field section. So anything that we check here will display inline. Now we could just set the count to display inline, but because the taxonomy term name is being displayed in a block, the count will still display on another line. So we need to check both of these and then click Apply All Displays. And if we scroll down, we see that they're both in line, so it's looking good. Now the only thing left to do is to wrap the parentheses around the number. And we can do that with a rewrite, but we could also do this with another group of settings called prefix and suffix, which will just allow us to add something to the beginning and the end of a field. So I'll scroll up here, and this time we are going to go into the individual field settings. I'm going to go to Count Taxonomy Term Name, and you see prefix and suffix here. So for the prefix, we'll do the opening parenthesis. For suffix, we'll do the closing. And I'll click Apply All Settings. And if we scroll down, there we go. We see things being spaced out a little bit down here, but that's just because of the CSS formatting. Once we see this in a block, it will look a little bit more normal and in line with what our theme is. So now this final thing that we want to do is display this list by the number of items descending. So what we'd end up seeing is how to on top, because it has 3 pieces of content associated with it, then geek abuse and backstory, and then all the rest. So let's go ahead and add some sort criteria here. So I'm going to click Add next to Sort Criteria, and let's do a search for term name. So that's what we used for the count, and we're going to do the same thing here. There's no count option in this list, so we can either use the term name or the term ID in order to aggregate the relationship between it and the content. So I'm going to type name here and select Taxonomy Term Name and select Apply All Displays. And we have aggregation type again. We're going to select count and click Apply and Continue. And we're going to sort descending because we want the largest number to show on the top. And click Apply All Displays. And if we scroll down, we'll see how to on top, backstory, geek abuse, and so on. So our view is now complete. Let's go ahead and give this a save. We might have actually wanted to save this midway through just in case we got interrupted. But to keep the flow, we went all the way through, and now we're going to save.